Good morning, walkers, and welcome to the Triple Tree Trail, 3Ts, in Bozeman, Montana. It is June 15th, about 9:15 in the morning, 57 degrees Fahrenheit, 14 degrees Celsius. Beautiful day. This trail is just south of Bozeman. It's pretty much considered in Bozeman. And before we get started, well, we're going to start walking. I'll show you the map there, and then of course a bunch of rules, because this trail, which I will talk about a little bit more in a minute, goes through a combination of state and public land. First of all, thanks for joining us this morning. Hope you're enjoying this channel, enjoying your walking. We appreciate all your comments that you leave us. I do read them and try to respond to everyone. That is in good taste. We don't have many bad comments, thankfully. I appreciate that. Subscribe and click that bell to get notified when we drop new videos. And what else? Subscribe, comment, like the video. That helps us. All those things help us with Google and help us get noticed and promoted a little bit so other people can find us. And so it's kind of sharing the love. I love hearing your personal stories. Any corrections you might have when I make an error or mispronounce something is always appreciated. Extra information that I didn't cover, very nice. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I appreciate your participation. A little bit about this trail. It's an out and back trail, 2.7 out, 2.7 back. We're not going to do all of that today, but we are going to get some beautiful views of the foothills that this walks through before it goes into the steep section. This was sort of a trail that was just kind of, I think, informal in a lot of ways, that, cut through some private and state land, and then the Gallatin Valley Land Trust, which is an organization here in Gallatin Valley, partnered up with some people, raised some money, and they got an easement from the state in exchange for improving and maintaining the trail. So this trail is open year round. It gets icy in the winter. It's open to bikes and foot traffic. You need to keep your dog on a leash because it does either cut through or skirt private land, and you need to stay on the marked trail. But it's super close to Bozeman, and the views, especially this time of day, are wonderful. I'll give you a view back here of the valley in a second. I came out here and tried to do a walk yesterday and forgot a memory card, so I had to turn around and go home. But the lot was full and overflowing. It's about an hour and a half later than now, but this morning there's only 2 other cars in the lot, which is nice. All right. All right, I'm gonna give you a little panoramic view here. That's south right now, looking that way, and towards Highlight Lake, which is probably that way, and then the rest of the valley here. Adjust my angle a little bit, and then you can just barely see the dome of the University Fieldhouse, Brick Breeden Fieldhouse, and then this great meadows, and we're going to keep on going. I'm filming on the DJI Osmo again today. I apologize for the Three Forks audio. I've narrowed the problem down to the connection of the lav mic I was using to the camera. So hopefully I can get that sorted. And traveling Mel just got back and she did a few walks in Idaho for me. She and our oldest did a little trip to get content for her blog, travelingmel.com. She was getting info for a blog post about Idaho hot springs. One of her most popular posts right now is Montana hot springs on travelingmel.com. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about their trip. They just got back last night. There are bears up in here on these foothills, so you want to be bear aware. I didn't actually bring my bear spray today. I think it's a pretty popular trail, so I'm not too worried about it, but I'll definitely be aware. You can see some of the developments that's been happening here. Beautiful area to have a house, but it'd probably be even more beautiful without houses. Off to the left, you can see the Bridger Mountains in the distance. And we'll get a view. I'll film on the way back too, just to get a nice view of that again. Off to the right are the Gallatins I mentioned before. Lots of great hiking and biking trails in there. I love these aspen forests. Oh, down here, I see a deer, white-tailed deer, prancing through the forest or through the meadow to the forest. This is great food for them right in here, all this grass. This is also a place where, if I were worried about a bear, this would be it. So I'll probably talk a little bit more to let them know I'm coming through. I gotta come up with something to say though. So a few benches in here and interpretive signs as well. Excuse me, here's one that we won't stop to read. But it's all about wildlife on the trail. Here's some of those, sticky geraniums. Let me see, there we go. There's also a lot of bike use on this trail, from what I understand, so it's a little narrow in places and everybody's got to share, which is fine. You can imagine what this trail is like in the winter. A lot of traffic, gets pretty icy and can be a little perilous down in here. But, you know, you just come prepared. Get some of those yak tracks, which are basically little galoshes. Well, not really galoshes. They're little webbing things with metal, springy metal things. Give you a gription on the ice. One of the nice things about this trail is how well it's marked and how distinct it is. It's pretty tough to take a wrong turn in here. And I'm going to be just a little quiet so you can hear the birds calling too. Along with generators and traffic noise that comes with a modern society. Love the smell of the water, the forest and the bushes, understory here retains water. You know, the shade keeps the sun out, and it stays a little moist and damp, and it has that smell to it. And there's also a little stream or wet areas in here. It's a whole different system than, 100 yards away in the open. I think even the last time I was here, not counting yesterday, last time I hiked the trail, we came in winter with our kids when they were little. And we had some mixed results on how much they enjoyed that walk, which is often the case with little kids. But it's important to get them out in nature, get them out into wild places. Builds confidence, builds character, in my opinion. I think I hear a warbler. maybe a robin as well. And here's some pink flowers that are not sticky geraniums, but I think they're wild roses. Correct me if I'm wrong. Here's a little creek. I forget which creek this is. Probably Triple Creek, or part of it. Nice. Disappearing into the woods. And a little bench here. Love those two-stroke engines. Which is, oh, that's such a nice little house here. Love that subtle, humble style. Probably $1 million home. I've been looking at lawnmowers recently, and the electric kind. They're super affordable now compared to a mid-range gas lawnmower, especially when you factor in maintenance. But they're so much quieter, and of course far less pollution than a two-stroke engine. But they make these whole systems use the same battery for a mower, string trimmer, leaf blower, trimmers, chainsaws even. It'll be awesome when you can even get a zero radius riding lawnmower. I think Ryobi makes one with like a 42-inch blade maybe, or a couple of blades. But it'll be nice when the lawn maintenance industry makes that switch. Surprising amount of pollutants come out of those two-stroke engines, in addition to noise. Such a nice little valley with aspens on the far side. Kind of, I don't know if these are willow bushes or I forget what species these are. I'm sure I knew it at one point. Little wren looking bird on this post. Cute little thing. Well, several of them. I don't know what that is. Cute little bird. It's got a yellow rump. It's definitely the size of a wren. Is this a Vesper sparrow maybe? Totally guessing at that. Cornell Ornithology, Cornell Labs, has a little app for bird identification called Merlin, M-E-R-L-I-N, Bird ID, which I use a lot. Obviously I can't really pull that out while I'm walking, but it's a fun way to add some depth to your walk, some interesting activities to keep you focused if you need something beyond your own imagination. Excuse me. Some other hikers up here. Hi there. Hi. All right, I think what's going to happen here is we're going to turn around, continue walking with different views. The trail goes down through that valley and starts to go up that hill. There's a bunch of switchbacks. You can kind of see the trail leading into the aspen. A bunch of switchbacks, and goes up high. And I'm unwilling to do that today. So we're going to go back, and you can see how different the views are going to be. So we'll continue. It looks like there are a lot of people that park up here and access the trail from here. I feel like that's probably not legal or not appreciated. But I'm not sure what the property values are here. Property rules. Certainly there's other trails, Kagi Boulevard and Main Street, 7 miles. So perhaps that trail goes off that way. Stick with us, we've got more to go. You can kind of see the tire tracks of people riding their bikes on here, which is acceptable use. I just love looking out over this valley and these forests and these grasslands with the wildflowers and the grass going to seed. It's beautiful, especially this time of day. Such great colors. Pardon me. And the views of the mountains, those are nice, of course. It's funny to me how on these trails you walk one way and it's beautiful, and then you turn around and go back and it's a completely different set of views. Different look, different inputs. Different, oh, these are pretty yellow flowers. Sorry, I've been well trained by traveling Mel to stop and check those out. Different opportunities to notice different details, which is nice. I also like to think of what this area would have looked like 150 years ago. Would it have been like this, or would it have been sagebrush steppe? More trees, less trees? How much has been logged? How much has been planted? The houses are easy, those are all new in that time frame. At least these houses. Montana is a beautiful state. Shooting Montana 4K is a lot of fun for this channel and my other amazing nature relaxation therapy channel, which I'm starting to think maybe I should alter that name a bit. And it's great for these virtual treadmill walks and virtual scenery walks. And you know, it's hard to imagine being able to do this without YouTube and, you know, being able to post 4K video to YouTube of these walking trails. You'd have to buy a lot of server space to do that on your own. I know they've gotten in trouble with a lot of their policies, but overall I think they provide a pretty valuable service. This is private land off to the left. It says no trespassing. But it looks like it's been let to go wild, or left to be wild. I don't see any cattle or signs of cattle in there, or any other livestock, which is nice. There's a robin on a post. Starting to warm up, come up a few degrees, I think. I know it probably seems to people that are going through the heat wave in the southern U.S. right now and middle part of the U.S. like 55 is dreamy, but keep in mind we have a lot less atmosphere here at 4,900 feet, I think, something like that. And the sun isn't really that hot, but it definitely, you can feel it cooking your skin almost. And of course, I've spoken about this before, we get acclimated out here to these nice, pleasant temperatures, and then anything out of that range, we tend to complain about. But on the other hand, at 20 below, most people are just fine. Back to our little bridge. Here's some other walkers coming. Hello, pup. Hi there.
Hi. Hi. Come on, buddy. Lupa, no.
Lupa's supposed to be on a leash. Oh well. Love seeing all these white trunks of the aspens. Morning. Hi there.
I'm just going with the flow.
Love this open country as well. Excuse me. Looks like someone has mowed their own little private path up to the main path here, which is nice. Mountains peeking up over this other hill. We're going to get a good view of the tobacco roots coming up. I believe that's what will be, it might be the Madisons. Yeah, I think those far mountains straight ahead are the tobacco roots. You can see the snow on them. And off to the left, straight ahead there, is the Madison Range. And this might be the Spanish Peaks. And then off to the left here, I believe that's Cottonwood Canyon and the Gallatin Range, beginnings of. So quite the view. I love this hayfield off to the right. I know it's not natural, but still pretty to me, idyllic. And the rest of the valley. We'll keep going here. Sourdough Canyon and Sourdough Creek lead up to, I forget what the reservoir is, but it's there's an access road that's fenced off, authorized personnel only in terms of vehicles, but you can ride your bikes and ski and hike up there. And I think it's like 10 miles up, maybe 20, but I think it's 10 up to the reservoir. Fairly easy going, and of course pretty easy going back, but it's a very popular trail for that reason. Oh, cool. Sorry, off to the left here is a sandhill crane, kind of about 100 meters, 100 yards out. There's a couple of them. You probably can't see them, but they're it stuck his head up. I'll try and punch in with the video on this. One of the awesome things about Montana is the amount of wildlife you get to see. The cranes come out and they're probably fully on nesting now. Might even have some young ones out there. They stand about 3 feet tall, have a red or rusty top of their head, long beaks, massive wings. They can almost just hover, and they have this interesting call. It sounds like a... That's a horrible representation, but you get the idea. Very cool birds. And they come out and nest in these meadows. I see another pair down in the distance. I want to thank you guys for joining us again. This is a pretty decent hike, 46 minutes. Not too strenuous, a couple little uphills that had me breathing a little harder than normal, but absolutely beautiful. Again, encourage you to leave me a comment about your thoughts, any of your favorite trails around Bozeman that you'd like to see. I'll see if I can do those. I'll be doing them more anyway in the area, because travel is limited. We're about to head out to Oregon for a week, the coast, and I'm hoping to grab a couple walks in the on that trip. A few beach walks, maybe some small towns. We are limited, of course, by COVID restrictions, and we want to be respectful of places we visit, and respecting their need to keep the virus out of their communities. We just had community testing. I got tested, not the full deep dive, but just I think it's more of an antibody test. Super easy. It was free, and I haven't heard back, so I assume everything's good. I hope you guys are staying safe and staying well. And thanks for your comments. Thanks for your subscriptions and clicking that bell and hitting that like button. It does help us expand this channel and keeps me motivated to keep going. Inspired by your words. There's a few people that have told me stories about their exercise, and one person lost, 15 or 20 pounds, I think. Another person comments every time they complete a new walk, and with justifiable pride, getting out and moving, and especially these days, can be really tough. So keep at it, keep stepping, come back next time, and in the meantime, happy walking. We'll see you soon.